Welcome to Math with GCSE Mathematics Zone. In this video, we're going to look at the August 2023 Mathematics Paper 1. So if you are planning to write an exam in 2024, this is the best time to start preparing for your exam. So make sure that you watch this video until the end as I reveal the deep secrets and tricks on how to answer Paper 1 math questions. Alright, so the first question says evaluate. So when they say evaluate, they want you to work out and find the actual value. So let's just write this expression. So we have 3 squared plus 3 to the negative 1 times 2 to the 0. Alright, before you start answering the question, any question, you need to understand the method that you're going to use to attack it. So in this case, this is an expression, a numerical expression, so meaning we are going to follow the order of operation by following BIDMAS. All right, so do we have brackets? No. Do we have indices? Indices, yes, which are also called the powers. So you can see that we have the powers or the indices. So we are going to work out the powers first. So 3 squared is same as 3 times 3, then plus 3 to the negative 1. By the laws of indices, if you have the base a, which is any number a, that has been raised to the power negative b, it means that this is going to be equal to 1 over a to the power b. All right. Now in our case, our base is 3. So meaning this can be written in this form. So we are going to have 1 over the base 3 to the power 1, which is just 3. Then times 2 to the power 0 is just 1. Any number to the power 0 is 1. All right. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 over 3 times 1 is just 1 over 3. All right, so this is a fraction and this is a whole number. So you need to know that this can be written as a fraction as well by saying over 1. So you need to know that fractions can only be added if you have the same denominator. Can only be added directly if you have the same denominators. So the common denominator here is a 3. So meaning we need to make this denominator to be 3. We're going to do that by multiplying by 3. All right. So what we've done on the denominator here, we also do it on the numerator so that the value of the fraction remains the same. All right. So 3 times 9 is 27 over 3 times 1 is just 3 plus 1 over 3. So now, because the denominators are the same, it means now that these two fractions can be added directly. So we're going to keep the denominator 3, 1. We're going to keep the denominator 3. Then 27 plus 1 is 28. Okay. 28 divided by 3 is 9. Remainder 1 over 3. So this is the answer. The next question says simplify. To simplify means something is looking big, you need to make it look simple. You need to reduce it. So when you look at this question, it has brackets. So the first step that you're going to do is to open the brackets or to expand by multiplying each term that is outside the brackets by everything that is in the brackets. So we're going to say 2 times x is 2x, then 2 times positive 3y is positive 6y. So take note, I'm saying 2 times positive 3y. I'm multiplying together with a sign to avoid mistakes. So we are done opening this. Then we come to this. Negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. All right. At this stage, you collect like terms together, those with x's. So this one has x, this one has x. So take note, I'm collecting together with their signs. All right. So what you are having now is 2x minus 12x is negative 10x. Okay? Then do we have any terms that are like? No. So meaning this term and this term are going to be written as they are. So plus 6y plus 6. So this is the answer. All right. Question 3 says factorize completely. So take note, there are two statements here. You need to factorize and you need to complete the factorization. Okay. So you have 3x squared minus 27. Okay, so the first step that you are supposed to do here when they say factorize, you need to look for the highest common factor or what is common between these two terms. And in this case, a 3 is common, so we're going to factor it out like this. So 3x squared divided by 3 will remain with x squared in the brackets. Then negative 27 divided by 3 will have negative 9 here. All right, so we are having 3, then x squared minus 9 can be written as 3 squared. Okay, now when you look at what is in the brackets here, you can see that x squared is a square number and 3 squared is also a square number. And because these you have two square numbers and in between you have a minus sign, it means that the expression that is in the brackets is in the form of dots. Okay, difference of two squares. Okay, so difference of two squares states that if you have a square number a that is subtracting another square number b, then for you to factorize this, you are going to factorize it in this form. Okay, you're going to factorize it as follows. You put a plus here and a minus there. So you say the square root of a squared is a. You also write it here. The square root of b squared is b. You also write it here. All right. So now, when you look at this, this is exactly in this form. So meaning we're going to have 3 open brackets, then plus, minus. Okay, the square root of x squared is x. You also write it here. The square root of 3 squared is 3. You also write it here. Okay, so this is the answer. 3x plus 3x minus 3. All right, number 4 says find the gradient of a line which passes through the points -3, -1 and 0,3. All right, so they want you to find the gradient and of a line that is passing through these 2 points. So gradient is given by the letter m, and its formula is gradient m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so but when you look at these 2 points, you don't have these x1s, y1s, you don't have them. So what you do is you choose any of these points to be 0.1. So I'll choose this one to be 0.1. If this is 0.1, then it means that here you have x1, then this is y1. Then this will be x2 and y2. So meaning this is 0.2. All right, now we can replace these values in the formula. So we are going to have y2 is 3, okay, 3 minus y1 is -1. So put in brackets like this, please. Many students make mistakes here. Put in brackets here. If you have a negative, you're subtracting a negative, you make sure that you put it in brackets like this. Then divided by x2. X2 is 0. So you have 0 minus x1 is minus 3, negative 3. So put in brackets like this, guys. Okay? So you have 3. So first of all, you're going to say negative times negative, you have positive. So you have 3 plus 1 over 0, then negative, negative. So here you're going to have 0 plus 3. All right. So 3 plus 1 is 4 over 0 plus 3 is 3. So this is the gradient. All right. So this is the gradient, 4 over 3. All right. So I'm leaving the gradient to be 4 over 3 because it means that I'm moving 4 squares in the y-axis and 3 squares in the x-axis. Okay, number 5. Number 5 says, shade A union B intersect C complement in this diagram here. Okay? So, first of all, you need to know what A union B is. Okay? If you are to shade, if you have two sets like this, set A and set B. Okay? And you are told to shade A union B. A union B means everything that is forming the two sets combined together. Okay? So A union B will be this. All the elements that are making set A and B. A union B is this. Okay? This. Now, because they are saying intersect C complement, it means you need to shade A union B and then subtract the set C, meaning set C should not be shaded in any way. So A union B complement will just, A union B intersect C complement will just be this. If you shade here, it means you've shaded the part of the C, which is contradicting with this. If you shade here, again, it will contradict that. All right. The position vector of a point P is this. Given that the point Q is this, find PQ. Okay, these are also one of the easiest questions. So I always encourage students to make a sketch. Okay, so if you have the Cartesian plane like this, X, Y, okay, so point P is at 3,4. So 3, we are going to say, let's say this is where 3 is, and 4 is here. Let's say 4 is here. So point P is here, 3,4. Okay? So this is the origin. From the origin, vectors move from the origin. So you can join from the origin to point P. And because the vector is starting from here, you need to put arrows like this. Okay? And then point Q, they are saying point Q is at negative 1,1. So negative 1 is here, then 1 is here. So this is Q, negative 1,1. Again, you can connect from here, from the origin to point Q. All right, so you can actually connect these two like this. Now you have OPQ. But in the question, they want you to find PQ, the vector PQ. How are you going to find the vector PQ? So now what you have to understand is that this letter that is on the far left here, you may have A, B, PQ, RS, but as long as it's on the far left here, it means that's where you're going to start your movement from. So you have P, O, okay? So you have P, O, plus, so you move from P to O, plus OQ, or Q. All right. So what is PO? So when you are moving from O to P, the vector, because you are going along with the direction, the vector is positive. But when you are moving from PO, so here we have PO, it means the vector is going to be negative. So you are going to have negative 3, 4 plus OQ. OQ, because you are moving from the origin to this point, you are going along with the direction, it will be positive. So you have negative 1, 1, like this. Okay. So now this negative is just multiplying by everything that is that is inside. So we are going to have negative 3, negative 4, plus negative 1, 1. All right. So now you're having negative 3 plus negative 1 is negative 4. Okay. The negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So what are the instructions? They said find vector PQ. So vector PQ is this one here. So we are going to say PQ is equal to negative 4, negative 3. All right, so number 7 says, given that P, the matrix P is this, and the matrix Q is that, find P to the power T. So whenever you see a matrix, in this case P, that has been raised to the power T, it means they want you to find the transpose of this particular matrix. First of all, what is a transpose of a matrix? So first of all, you need to understand that the numbers that are horizontally like this are called rows, and the numbers that are in a vertical arrangement like this, they are called columns. Okay, so now coming back to P transpose. All right, so whenever the question is asking you to find the transpose of a matrix, they just want you to make the rows, to change the rows to become columns. In other words, you are interchanging the rows by columns. So you can see that you have this row. Now you need to change this row into a column. So you're going to have 4, negative 1, 0. Okay, so you can see that we have changed this row. It has become a vertical arrangement of numbers, which is a column. Okay, you also do the same with this. So we have 2, 0, 3. Right, so this is a transpose of this matrix. Part B, they want you to find PQ. Okay, what does it mean, PQ? It means that you need to multiply the matrix P and Q. So before you carry on with your multiplication, there are things that you are supposed to consider, because sometimes multiplication in matrices does not exist. So first of all, you need to test if multiplication in these matrices, two matrices exist. Okay, so first of all, you need to know to write the order of each of these two matrices. So you mention the order of a matrix by starting with the number of rows. So you have 1, 2. So you have 2 rows. And then how many columns? 1, 2, 3. So it's a 2 by 3 matrix. So this is the order. What about this one? How many rows? We have 1, 2, 3. So the rows are 3. How many columns? 1. So it's 3 by 1 matrix. All right. So now what you have to know is that if these inside numbers, these numbers that are inside are the same, it means that multiplication between the two matrices exists. But if these numbers were different, it means multiplication was not going to exist. All right. In other words, for multiplication to take place or to exist, the number of columns of the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. Now, what about these outside numbers? What do they tell you these? So these outside numbers, they tell you the order of the matrix that you are going to find after you've done the multiplication. So the order of the matrix that you are going to have after you've carried out your multiplication will be a 2 by 1 matrix. All right. Now that we have established that multiplication exists, we can now go ahead and multiply these two matrices. So matrix P is this one. We have 4, -1, 0, 2, 0, 3, which is being multiplied by this matrix 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, matrix Q. So when multiplying matrices, you multiply them following the rows of the first matrix by the columns of the second matrix. Okay, so meaning we're going to start with this row and finish with this column, and then this row and finish with that column. Okay, so we're going to have 4 times 1, so 4 times 1 plus -1 times 2, so -1 times 2, and plus 0 times 3. So we are done with this row and this column. Okay, then we come to this row. So we have 2 times 1. Okay, so we're talking about this 2 times 1 plus 0 times 2 plus 3 times 3. 3 times 3. All right. Everything you put in brackets like this because it's a matrix. Okay, so what is needed now is just to simplify. So 4 times 1 is 4. Then plus -1 times 2 is -2. Then 0 times 3 is 0. All right. Then 2 times 1 is 2 plus 0 times 2 is 0 plus 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so 4 plus -2 plus 0 is just 2. Okay, 4 plus 0, 2 plus 0 is 2 plus 9 is 11. So this is the answer. This is the matrix PQ. And just as I said, the order of this matrix is 2 by, so 1, 2, so it's a 2 by 1 matrix, just as I said here about the outside numbers. All right, number 8 says an arithmetic progression is given as 1, 7, 13. All right, so this is an arithmetic progression. The other name for the arithmetic progression is the linear sequence. So what is this arithmetic progression or a linear sequence? A linear sequence or the arithmetic progression is a sequence in which its terms increase or decrease with the same amount each time. All right, so they are saying find the 8th term. So for you to find the 8th term, because this is an arithmetic progression or the linear sequence, for you to find the 8th term, first of all, you need to find D, which is the common difference, okay? The common difference is found by subtracting the previous term from the next term. So we are going to have 7 minus 1. It should be true also because this term in this sequence increases by the same amount. So meaning it should also be true when you say 13 minus 7, which gives 6. So the common difference is 6. All right, after finding the common difference, you also need to know that you are finding the 8th term. So meaning n is 8, okay? N is 8. So to find the 8th term, we are going to use the formula. The general formula for finding the terms of an arithmetic progression is an is equal to a is the first term. So here meaning we also need to have a. The first term is 1 in this sequence, okay? So the formula for finding the nth term of an arithmetic progression is an is equal to a plus n minus 1 times the common difference d. Okay? So since we are finding the 8th term, so where there is n, we're going to put 8. So 8th term will be equal to, the first term is 1, so we have 1 plus n is 8, so we have 8 minus 1. And the common difference is 6, so we're multiplying by 6. So we have the 8th term being equal to 1 plus 8 minus 1 is 7, then times 6. Okay? 7 times 6, so we have 1 plus 7 times 6 is 42. Then 1 plus 42 is 43. All right, so here the answer is 43. Part B, they want you to find the sum of the first 15 terms. So first of all, n is here 15. So 15, then D, the common difference we found that it's 6. We need A, the first term, which is 1 in this sequence. Okay. So now the formula for finding the sum of the terms of an arithmetic progression is given by Sn is equal to n over 2, then 2a plus n minus 1 times the common difference. Okay? So now we already have the data here, so we just need to replace. So n is 15, so we have 15 over 2. Then 2 times a is 1, so 1 plus n is 15, so 15 minus 1. Common difference is 6, okay? So we need to simplify this. So we have 15 over 2 2 times 1 is 2, plus 15 minus 1 is 14. So we have 14 times 6. Okay? So this is paper 1, and you are not allowed to use a calculator. So we are going to have 15 over 2, then 2 plus 6 times 14. So since this is paper 1 and you are not allowed to use a calculator, you are going to say, you can even do it separately. You can say 14 times 6. Okay? 6 times 4 is 24. You write 4, you carry 2. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So you have 84. Okay? So here you have 84. So I'm going to solve this from here because of space. Okay? So meaning we're having 15 over 2. Then 2 plus 84 is 86. Okay? So now we can cross cancel because 2 can go into 86. So we can say 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 86 is 43. Now we have 15 times 43. So 15 times 43. All right. So we are multiplying because this is paper 1 and your calculators are not allowed. So we are going to say 3 times 4 is 15. You write 5, carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay? Then 4 times 5 is 20. You write 0, carry 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. Then add. Okay? So here you have a 0. And also here you have a 0. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. 0 plus 6 is 6. So this is the sum of the first 15 terms of this sequence. So you have 645. All right. Okay, number 9. The question reads, in a bag there are 4 blue marbles, 3 red marbles, and 2 white marbles. What is the probability of picking at random a red marble? So what you have to know first of all is that you have, in this bag there are 4 blue plus 3 red plus 2 white is equal to 9 marbles. Okay? Now they want you to find the probability of picking a red marble at random. Alright, so a red marble, how many red marbles are there? We have 3 red marbles. So you are going to say probability of red is equal to, how many are they? 3 out of the total, which is 9. You need to reduce this. You need to reduce this fraction by dividing by 3. Okay. So finally, the answer 331. So you are going to have 1 over 3. So that's the probability of picking a red marble. Okay. 1 over 3. Okay, part B, they want you to solve this equation. So you have 2x squared plus x minus 3 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. There are many ways you can use to solve this, but in this video we're going to concentrate on the factor method. So for the factor method, you get the coefficient. First of all, you need to find the product. Okay, so for the factor method, first of all, you need to find the product, then the sum, and the factors. Okay? So the product is found by multiplying the coefficient of x squared by the constant. So you have the coefficient of x squared 2 by the constant here. So 2 by negative 3 is negative 6. The sum is the coefficient of x. So in this case, it's like we have an invisible 1 here. So the sum is 1. Then the factors, we are looking for factors of the product such that if we add those factors, we'll get the sum, which is 1. If we multiply them, we'll get the product, 6. So if we say 2 and 3, 2 times 3, we'll get a 6 and not negative. So what we are going to do is we'll give one of these negative. If we give 2 a negative, if we say negative 2 times 3, we'll get a 6, yes. And if we say negative 2 plus 3, we'll get a 1, yes. So the factors are negative 2 and positive 3. So meaning we're going to have 2x squared minus 2x, okay, minus 2x, then plus 3x, then minus 3 is equal to 0, okay. Then you can see that we have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we factorize the first 2 terms separately and the second 2 terms separately. So what is common here is 2x. 2x squared divided by 2 is x. Then 2x divided by 2x minus 2x divided by 2x is minus 1. Then plus, what is common there is 3. 3x divided by 3 is x. Negative 3 divided by 3 is minus 1 is equal to 0. So you can see that what is in the brackets is the same, so we just pick one of them, okay? And then you pick these outside ones, so 2x plus 3, and then everything is 0. Now, if you have this situation, it's either this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0. So you have x minus 1 is equal to 0, or 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. So at this stage, you want the value of x, so meaning m at remaining with x on the left. Okay, so meaning you need to remove negative 1. You need to take it to the other side. So we're going to do that by additive inverse. This is negative 1. For you to remove it, you are going to add a 1, so that when you say negative 1 plus 1, this becomes a 0. Then what you've done on the left, you also do it on the right, okay? Also the same here, remain with a term that has the variable that you are looking for. So this is positive 3. So to remove this positive 3, you are subtracting a 3. So what you've done on the left, you also do it on the right. All right. So let's solve it from here. So meaning here on the left, you are going to remain with x is equal to 1, or 2x is equal to negative 3. This, okay? So you have x is equal to 1, then divide through by 2, okay? So, or x is equal to negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1 and half, okay? So x is equal to 1, or x is negative 1 and half. All right, number 10, A says the universal set E has these elements, and set A is equal to prime numbers, okay? And set B is that. List A union B complement. All right, so first of all, we need to know what these prime numbers are. So first of all, let's list set A. So set A, they are saying they are prime numbers. So prime numbers in the universal set. Okay. Now, what is a prime number? A prime number is a number that has two factors only, one and itself. Okay. So set A. So 0 is not a prime number. 1 is not a prime number because it has only one factor, which is 1 itself. 2 is a prime number because it has two factors, 1 and 2 itself. So 2 is a prime number. 3 is also a prime number. 4 is not a prime number, but 5 is a prime number. Then 6 is not. 7, yes, is a prime number. 8, no. And 9, no. So the set A is this one. Now they want you to list set A union B complement. What does it mean when they say B complement? They mean members that are part of the universal set and are not members of set B. Okay? So B complement means members that are part of the universal set but are not in set B. So set B, we have this. So B complement, we have 0. 1 is not found in B. Okay. Then 2 also is not found in B. Then 3 is found in B. So 3 is found in B. So because 3 is found in B, we will not put it here. And then 4, okay, 4. Then 5. 6 is found in B, so we will not put it here. Then 7, yes, 7 is not. Then 8 is not. What about 9? 9 is found in B. So B complement, a set B complement is this one. All right. Now they want you to find A, the set A union B complement. Okay. What is a union set? A union set is a set that is making both set A and B. In other words, we are combining the elements that are in A and those that are in B. All right. So we will start 0. Okay. 0, 1. 2 is found in both, so we'll just write it once. 2. Then 3, so we have 3. Then do we have 4? Yes, 4. Then we have 5. 5 is found in both, but we'll write it once. And then do we have 6? No. Do we have 7? Yes, so 7. And finally 8. All right. So this is A union B complement set they wanted. You may be wondering why a 3 is also part of this set. It is because 3 is part of set A, and so we just combined the elements. All right. Part B. The following diagram shows a regular hexagonal right pyramid. Okay. So here you need to pay attention to the word regular hexagonal. Okay. Find the number of planes of symmetry of this pyramid. All right. So when you look at this pyramid, we've been told that it's a regular hexagonal. So hexagonal meaning it has 6 sides, or it has 6 planes. Okay, so we've been told to find the number of planes of symmetry of this regular hexagonal pyramid. Okay, so what you have to know is that planes of symmetry is similar to lines of symmetry. Just that when it comes to lines of symmetry, you are referring to a 2D shape. Okay, but when you talk about planes of symmetry, you are referring to a 3D shape. Okay, so since they have said this is a regular hexagonal right pyramid, because it's a regular object, it means that the number of sides of this pyramid is equal to the number of lines of symmetry. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It has 6 sides. So meaning the number of planes of symmetry is 6. So this object has 6 planes of symmetry. All right, number 11, part A says town A and B are on longitude 75 degrees west and 45 degrees east respectively. Find the time difference between these two towns. Okay, so I usually encourage students to make a sketch. Okay, so you make a sketch of the earth. Okay, so this is, you're going to assume that this is longitude 75 degrees west. Okay, then you're going to assume that you draw another one, because there's this one that is on the east, 45. So you draw another one that is 45. So you assume that this one is 45 degrees east. All right, and then you have the equator like this. So I encourage students to do this, because when you make a sketch, things become easier. Okay, just remember, they want you to find the difference in time between these two towns. So this is point E, so you can label, so meaning this is where point A is, and then this is where point B is. Okay, so you can see that point A is in the west and point B is in the east. So now for you to find the time difference, first of all you need to find the difference in degrees. Okay, difference in degrees, that's the first step. Now how are you going to find the difference in degrees? If the two towns are in the same region, let's say they are all in the west, you are going to subtract the degrees, these degrees. But since these towns are in different regions, so for you to find the difference in degrees, you are going to add these two. So first of all, find the difference in degrees, which is 75 degrees plus 45 degrees, giving 120 degrees. So with this information, you need to understand that the Earth rotates on its axis to form day and night. okay? And the complete rotation is 360 degrees. And because there are 24 hours in a day, we are going to divide this 360 by 24 so that we know how many degrees equal to 1 hour. So when you divide this, you are going to have 15 degrees. So meaning 1 hour is equivalent to 15 degrees. All right. So now we are going to use this to finally find the time difference between these two terms. So we are going to say 1 hour is equal to, we found that it's 15 degrees. Okay. Now, how many hours are going to make 120 degrees? So here we have 120 degrees. Here we don't know. So we're going to cross multiply. When you cross multiply, we're going to have x times 15 will be 15 degrees. X is equal to 1 hour times 120 degrees. Okay? For you to find x, divide both sides of this equation by 15 degrees. So we're going to have x is equal to 1 hour times 120 degrees divided by 15 degrees. Okay? So we have x is equal to, so the degrees will cancel, the degrees will cancel. Then we'll have 15 into 120. So because this is paper 1, no calculators are allowed, so we're going to reduce it slowly. So we're going to say 3 can go into 15 and 3 can go into 12. So 3 into 15, 5. 3 into 12, 4. So you have 40 over 5. So 5 can go into 40. So 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 40, this 40 here is 8. Okay? So x is 8 hours. So you conclude and say, therefore, the time difference is 8 hours. Okay? All right, so the next question says, an aeroplane took 4.5 hours to fly from town from town P to town Q. Okay, so when you look at the diagram here, an aeroplane took 4.5 hours to fly from town P to town Q. Okay, find its average speed in knots. So they want you to find the average speed which this aeroplane traveled at in knots. Okay, so they want you to give your answer in knots. All right, so what we know is that speed is given by distance taken, distance covered or taken, divided by time taken. All right, now when we look at our data here in the question, we've been told that we've been given time, which is 4.5 hours. Okay. What else do we need to calculate speed? We need distance. So we don't know what distance is. The distance from this point P to point Q. Now, how do we find distance? How do we find distance? Okay, so because they have said we need to find the speed in knots, it means that we need to find the distance in nautical miles. So distance is usually given by theta times 60 degrees. Okay, this is the formula that you have to keep. Now, what is this theta? So what you have to know is that theta is a difference in latitudes. Okay, So you can see that point P is lying on latitude 45 degrees south, and point Q is lying on 0 degrees, which is the equator. So when you find the difference between these two latitudes, you're going to say 45 minus 0, which gives 45, meaning here we are going to have 45 times 60. Okay, 45 times 60 is, so because paper 1 you are not allowed to use a calculator, so what you do, you get a 0 from 60, you put it here at the far end of 45, so you're going to have 450. So because you've removed a 0 here, you're going to remain with 6. Okay, this is how you multiply. Okay, now you're going to say 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 5 is 30, write 0, carry 3, and 6 times 4 is 24, 24 plus 3 is 27. Okay, so meaning the distance is 2,700 nautical miles. All right, now we can use this distance here when finding the speed. So we are going to have distance 2,700 divided by time. Time is here 4.5 hours. Okay, so here you just have to change it into an improper fraction. So we are going to have 2,700 over 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9 over 2. All right, some people start shivering when they reach here. There's nothing hard here. This is same as 22,700 divided by, this over sign is same as divided by 9 over 2. All right, now you are going to have 2,700. When you multiply, when dividing fractions, there is this which you use. You say keep, then change, and flip. Whenever you are dividing fractions, you need to bear in mind this. So you keep the first fraction as it is, then change the division sign into multiplication, and as soon as you change it into multiplication, then you flip. Okay, so you're going to have 2 over 9. All right, so keep this in mind. All right, this is paper 1, so you can reduce it from here. So 9 into 9, 1. 9 into 27 is 3. And then these zeros will come here. Okay, so meaning you are going to have 300 times 2. 300 times 2 is 600 knots, because, okay, 600 knots. So this is the speed at which that aeroplane flew. All right, question 12a says solve this exponential equation. All right, so we have 5 to the power 3x, negative 3x is equal to 125. All right, this is an exponential equation. So 5 here is the base, and also 125 is the base. Okay, so this is same as to the power 1. All right, so whenever you are given such an exponential equation, for you to solve it, you need to change the bigger base into the smaller base. In this case, we're going to change this base 125 into a smaller base of 5. So we're going to have 5 to the negative 3x is equal to 5 raised to the power what, so that you get back your 125. So it's 5 to the raised to the power 3. All right. Now, by the laws of indices, if you have a base A that has been raised to the power m, which is equal to the same base A that is being raised to the power n, then it means that m is equal to n. All right, so we're going to apply this here because we have 5 as the same base, and so we are going to have negative 3x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by negative 3. All right, then x is equal to, okay, this is negative 3, negative 1. All right, so x is equal to negative 1. All right, part B says the diagram shows a sector x or y. The angle subtended at the center is 70 degrees and the radius is 18 degrees. Yeah. So now the question says, calculate the area of a sector x or y, taking pi to be 22/7. All right, so they want you to find the area of this sector. So area of a sector is given by theta over 360 degrees times pi r squared. Okay. All right, so area is equal to theta in this case is the central angle, so you have 70 degrees over 360 degrees times pi. We've been told that pi is 22/7, so 22/7 times radius is 18, so we're going to have 18 squared. All right, 0 can cancel, can reduce. All right, then 2 can go into 22 11 times, 2 can go into 36 18 times. Again, 7 can go into 7 one time, even here one time. So we are going to have area is equal to 1/18. So 1/18 times 11 here, then times 18 squared is same as 18 times 18, like this. Okay, so because this is paper 1, you make sure that you are being careful. You can see the way I'm doing it so that I don't deal with big numbers. So you can see that this 18 and one of these 18s will cancel. So that's how you work out in paper 1, guys. So you are going to remain with area is equal to 1 times 11 times 18, so which is just 11 times 18. Now, because this you are not allowed to use a calculator, you are going to say 18 times 11 and then multiply it like this. Okay, 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1. Then 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1. All right, then here you add, right? Then here is same as you have a 0, so 8 plus 0 is 8, then 1 plus 8 is 9, then here is same as you have 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So you conclude and say, therefore, area of this sector is 198 square centimeters. All right. Question 13 says the mass of a bag of meal is 25.2 kilograms. Calculate the tolerance. All right. So what you have to know is that tolerance is equal to the upper bound minus the lower bound. So the upper bound is also called the maximum value, and the lower bound is also called the minimum value. And this is the true value that we've been given, okay? This is a true value. So for you to find tolerance, you are supposed to subtract the lower bound from the upper bound. Okay, so we need to find the upper bound. So I'm going to find it here. So upper bound. How do we find the upper bound? We use the true value, okay? So the true value is 25.2. All right, you need to pay attention to the true value. If the true value has one decimal place, it means, so we are saying one decimal place. If the true value has one decimal place in this, like in this case, the absolute error is 0.05. Okay? If it has the true value has two decimal places, then the absolute error is 0.005, and if it has three decimal places, it's going to be 0.0005, and so on. So these are absolute errors. Okay, all right. Now when you look at our true value, this one, it has one decimal place, and because it has one decimal place, it means we're going to add, for us to find the upper bound, we are going to add a 0.5 to this value, true value. Okay, so we're going to add a 0.05, and this gives 25.25 kilograms. Okay, so that's the upper bound. Now let's find the lower bound. The lower bound, or the minimum value. So for the maximum value, or the upper bound, we added a 0.5. But now on the lower bound, we are going to subtract 0.05 from 25.2. So we're going to have 25.2 minus 0.05. And this gives 25.15. All right. So now we go back to our formula for finding the tolerance. Okay. So we're going to have tolerance is equal to the upper bound. The upper bound is 25.25. 25.25. Then minus the lower bound. The lower bound is 25.15. All right. In case people may be wondering on how to add and subtract decimals, so this is what we're going to do. Remember, this is paper 1. So we're going to say 25.25, okay, minus 25.15. You write them vertically like this, okay. Make sure that the place values are aligned. You can see that this is ones, tens, okay. Make sure that the ones are aligning with the other ones. Even these tens are aligning with the other tens. Then this one is a tenth. So the 10th place is aligning with the other 10th place. Even this one, the 100th place, is aligning with the other 100th place. All right. So we're going to have 5 minus 5 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. Point. This point, you just drop it here. Then 5 minus 5 is 0. Then 0, 0. So meaning the answer here is 0.1. All right. So this is the tolerance. Okay. So the tolerance is 0.1 or 0.10. It's just the same. All right. The next question is telling us to find the relative error. Okay. So relative error, RE, is given by absolute error, absolute error divided by the true value, the true value. Okay, now remember we said because our true value is 25.2, which has 2 decimal places, meaning the absolute error that we're going to use is a 0.05. Okay, so meaning here we are going to have 0.05 divided by true value is 25.2. all right, so you are dividing this. So when you look at these numbers, the numerator has 2 decimal places and the denominator has 1 decimal place. So because the numerator has 2 decimal places, it means that we are going to multiply the numerator by 100, and what we've done here, we also do it here. Okay, so that we have a whole number on top. So we are going to have 0.05 times 100, you are going to have 5 over 25.2 times 100, the point will move twice to the right. So 1, 2. So it will be 2,520. Okay? Now you start dividing. 5 can go into 2,520. So 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 25 is 5. Okay. 5 into 2 is 0. Okay. Then 5 into 20 is 4. So meaning the answer is going to be 1 over 504. So relative error is equal to 1 over 504. Number 14 says, in the diagram, 3 points A, B, and C are on level ground. The bearing of B from A is 0.35 degrees. So the bearing of B while standing at A. So the bearing of B while standing at A is this one here, 0.35. And angle ABC is equal to 90. This angle here is 90. And angle ACB is 40 degrees. Angle ACB is 40 degrees. Now the question says, find the bearing of A from C. All right. They want you to find the bearing of A from C. So the word from, in the previous videos, those that have not watched my videos on bearing, you are free to go and watch it on this same channel. Okay, so the word from in bearing is very important. So when they say find the bearing of A from C, it means that they want you to find the bearing of A whilst you are standing at C. Okay, so where you are standing at C, you are standing at C. Where you are standing at C, you are supposed to draw a north like this. You draw a north where you are standing at C. So bearing is measured clockwise from the north. So you are going to move clockwise from the north like this until you meet the line that is joining A and C. Okay, so meaning the bearing they want you to find is this one here. Okay? Now, how are you going to find this bearing? So, you need to know this angle here for you to find this bearing. So, for you to know that angle, we are going to consider extending this north here like this. Okay? So, you can see that this north and this north are parallel lines, and this is a transversal. and you have this angle here, meaning this angle here is also going to be 35 degrees because they are alternate angles. You can see that they are forming a Z shape, a Z shape here. Okay, so since the entire angle here is 90 degrees, okay, and out of 90 degrees you have 35 degrees. So for you to find this remaining angle here, you are supposed to subtract 9, you are supposed to say 90 minus 35, which gives 55 degrees. So meaning this angle here is 55 degrees. Okay, so you are also going to see that this north and this north are parallel lines, and so this angle here, the 55, is alternate to this angle here. You can see that another Z is being formed here. So meaning if this angle is alternate to this angle, it means even this angle is 55 degrees. All right. Now that we have found what this angle is, for us to find the bearing, for us to find this bearing here, we are going to say 360, which is the full 10. So we say 360 degrees, which is a full 10 from here going round like this up to here back is 360. Now out of the full 10, the 360, we've been given 40 and 55. So we are going to say 40 degrees plus 55 degrees. All right, so we're going to have 360 degrees minus 40 plus 55 is 95. All right, so we're going to have 360 degrees minus 95. Okay, here you're going to say this, then 10 minus 5 is 5. Here you are remaining with 5. Okay, so 15 minus 9 is 6. Okay, then here you are remaining with 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. All right, so you conclude and say the bearing of A from C is 265 degrees. Okay, then part B, they want you to find the bearing of A from B. The bearing of A whilst you are standing at B. So at B, they want you to find the bearing of A from B. Okay, meaning they want you to find the bearing of A whilst you are standing at B. So the point at which you are standing, which is at B, you are supposed to draw a north, but in this case we already have a north. Okay, so we're also going to move clockwise from the north until we meet the line that connects A and B. So clockwise like this until we meet the line that connects A and B. So meaning the bearing they want you to find is this one here. Okay, so that's a bearing. Now when you look at this is a straight line. Okay, so from the top north coming down up to here, it's 180 degrees because these are angles on a straight line which add up to 180. Okay, now you need to add this angle here from here up to here. Okay, for you to find the bearing of A from B. Okay, so in other words, you're adding 180 plus 35. So you're adding 180 degrees plus 35 degrees, and then this gives 5. 8 plus 3 is 11. Then this is 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is the bearing of of A from B, which is 215 degrees. Okay, number 15, given that the function f of x is this one and g of x is this one, find f inverse, the inverse of the function f of x. So whenever you see a function that has been raised to the power -1, it means they want you to find the inverse. All right? At A, they want you to find the inverse of the function f of x. But remember, the function f of x is this one. So the function f of x is equal to 3x minus 5 over 2. All right? So how are you going to find the inverse of this function? First of all, you are supposed to let this part here, the f of x, to be equal to y. Change this f of x to y. Okay? So meaning you're going to have, okay, you're going to have y is equal to 3x minus 5 over 2. Right? After doing that, the next step is to swap y with x and x with y. What I mean is you substitute or you exchange y with x and x with y. So meaning where there is y, you are going to put x. Okay, so you are going to have x here. I've changed it to x is equal to 3. Where there is x here, I'm changing it to y minus 5 over 2. All right? At this stage, your aim should be making y the subject, okay? Make y the subject. That should be your aim. All right, for us to make y the subject, we are supposed to first remove the fraction, okay? We remove the fraction by multiplying both sides of this equation by the same denominator, the denominator 2. If the denominator was 3, we are going to multiply by 3. If it was 4, and so on. So what we've done on the right, we also do it on the left, so that the equation remains balanced. So we're going to have 2x, because 2 times x is 2x, then is equal to this 2 and this 2 will cancel, and then what is going to remain is 3y minus 5. All right, so your aim is to make y the subject of the formula, okay? And because your aim is to make y the subject of the formula, meaning we need to remove this other term here. On the right, we should only remain with the term that has y. So how are we going to remove this term? We'll remove it by additive inverse. We're going to add a 5 here, so that when you say -5 plus 5, this becomes a 0. If it was positive, we're going to subtract a 5, okay? So what we've done here on the right-hand side of the equation, we also do it on the left-hand side. So meaning we're going to have 2x then plus 5 is equal to 3y, then this is now a 0. So for us to make y the subject of the formula, we're going to divide through by a 3, like this. Then 3 cancels. What is going to remain is 2x plus 5 over 3 is equal to y. So this alone is the inverse. So what is remaining now is just to conclude. It's just to conclude and say, therefore, the inverse of the function f of x is equal to 2x plus 5 over 3. So this is the inverse they required. Okay, part B, which is this one, they want you to find the value of f inverse of 5. Okay? Remember, the inverse of the function f, we've already found it as this one, which is 2x plus 5. So remember, f inverse of x is 2x plus 5 over 3, this one here, over 3. So now when they write like this, it means that in this function, f of inverse of x, wherever there is x, you substitute a 5. Okay, so this will imply that f inverse of 5 is equal to 2. Okay, I'm going to open brackets like this, plus 5 over 3. Now what are we putting in the brackets? We are putting a 5 here. Okay, so now we go ahead. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 5 over 3. Okay, so we have 10 plus 5 is 15 over 3, and this gives 5 when you divide 15 by 3. So you conclude and say, therefore, f inverse of 5 is 5. All right. But you see, they want you to find, okay, they want you to find the composition of the function f of g of x. Okay? The composition of the function f of g of x. Now, what does this mean? Okay? What it means is that the function the function g of x is inside the function f. So this can be written like this. Okay? This means that the function g of x is inside the function f. Now, what is this function g of x? The function g of x is this one here, x plus 2. So you are going to say f, then x plus 2. This is g, okay? Now, this will imply that the function f of x plus 2 is equal to, so meaning in the function f here, wherever there is x, you are going to replace the function g, which is x plus 2. Okay, so the function f is 3x minus 5 over 2. So the function f is 3. I'm going to open brackets, then minus 5 over 2. Okay? Now, what are you going to put in here? In here, you're going to replace this g. Okay? You're going to put g, which is x plus 2. All right. So now we just have to expand and simplify. Okay? So 3 times x is 3x. Then 3 times positive 2 is positive 6. Then minus 5 over 2. Then we can simplify further. So we're going to have 3x. 6 minus 5 is positive 1 over 2. Therefore, f of g of x is equal to 3x plus 1 over 2. All right, so the next question says, in the diagram, A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of the circle with radius O. So the points A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference. Then they are saying BD is equal to AD. BD is equal to AD. All right. So this side is equal to that side. That's what they are saying. And angle ADB is 40 degrees. Now the first question says find angle AOB. Angle AOB. So angle AOB is this one here. Now when you look at angle AOB, how are you going to find angle AOB? So when you look at this angle, AOB is at the center. And this angle 40 here is on the circumference. Okay? And for you to find angle AOB, you are going to apply the property that says angles at the center, the angle at the center is twice the angle on the circumference. So since we've been given a 40 degrees on the circumference, it means that for us to find the angle at the center, we are supposed to multiply this 40 degrees by 2. Okay? So we are going to say angle AOB is equal to 2 times 40 degrees, which gives 80 degrees. The next question, they want you to find BCD, angle BCD. Now, how are you going to find angle BCD? This means that to find angle BCD, we are going to use this triangle here. Okay? We're going to use this triangle because this triangle is an isosceles triangle because they are saying this side is equal to that side and we've been given that. So for us to find angle BCD, we're going to assume that this is x and this is x because an isosceles triangle has equal base angles. So we're going to say x, okay, let me just write x here and also x here. Okay, so x plus 40 degrees, we should get 180 degrees. Okay, so when you add this angle and this angle, we are supposed to get a 60 degrees, I mean a 180 degrees. So x plus x would be 2x plus 40 is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, this is degrees. So let's subtract 40 on both sides. Okay, in other words, I'm taking the 40 degrees the other side by additive inverse. So we're going to have 2x, this becomes a 0, is equal to 180 minus 40 is 140 degrees. So to find x, divide by 2 both sides. Okay, so x is equal to 70 degrees. So meaning this entire angle here is 70 degrees. Even this entire angle is 70 degrees. All right. So now, since they want angle BCD, okay, this angle here, we are going to apply the property that says opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral. So you can see that the one that is inside here is a quadrilateral. So the opposite sides here, this side is opposite to that side. So the opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral should add up to 180 degrees. So we are going to say angle BCD is equal to, so this opposite angle to this angle is 70 degrees. So we're going to say 180 degrees minus 70 degrees, which gives 110 degrees. Reason: opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral. Then part C, they want you to find angle OBD. Angle OBD. Okay, so they want you to find this angle here. This angle here. Now the question is, how are you going to find that angle? Remember, we found that this angle here is 80 degrees. Okay, angle AOB. And so any distance from the center to the circumference of the circle is the radius. So meaning this distance here is equal to this distance here. All right. So because this distance is equal to this distance and we have 80 degrees here, we also have, it means that we also have an isosceles triangle with 80 degrees and then this angle here from here up to here. From here up to here should be equal. Okay? So we're going to say, we're going to give this, let's say y. Okay? So we're going to say y plus here is 80. So this is 80 degrees. You should get 180 degrees. So this will be 2y plus 80 degrees. You should get 180 degrees. So in other words, we are saying the sum of angles in a triangle. Okay? So subtract 8 both sides, 80 degrees. Okay? Then we'll have 2y is equal to 180 minus 80 is 100. Okay? 100, then divide by 2 to find the value of y. So y is equal to 50 degrees. So meaning this angle here is 50 degrees. This angle here, even this base angle is also 50 degrees. Now, for us to find angle OBD, okay, angle OBD, we are going to say, because the entire angle here in the first place, we found that it's 70, okay? So for us to find this angle here, we are going to say 70, which is the entire angle, minus 50, this 50 here, so that we find the other remaining angle here. So we are going to say 70 degrees minus 50 degrees, which gives 20 degrees. All right, so this is the answer. All right, so question 17a says the diagram shows triangle P and Q. Okay, you can see these two triangles. Describe fully the single transformation which maps triangle P onto triangle Q. So you can see that this is the object, this is the shape that has not undergone any transformation, and this is the image. All right. Now, before you start answering, you need to ask yourself some questions. Number one, are the sizes of these two triangles the same? Yes, they are the same. What about the angles? Are the angles the same? Yes. You can see that this angle is equal to that angle. This angle is equal to that, and that is equal to that. All right. So the only thing that we can think about are reflection or rotation or translation. All right. So now let's see if it's reflection. Reflection, you are supposed to have a mirror line, and these points should be mirroring each other. Now when you look at this, the points are not mirroring each other. So reflection is out. What about rotation? So the shapes are facing the same direction, this side. Okay? If the shapes are facing the same direction, automatically rotation is out. Now, translation. So this is a translation. Why is it translation? Because look at this. This is the object and this is the image. Let's look at this point. Let's translate this point onto this. So we are moving 1, 2, 3, So we've moved 3, because we are moving to the right is positive 3. Then, so we are saying 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2. So we've moved 2 times downwards. When you are moving down, it means you're going to have negative. So the column vector is this one that we've established after translating this point here. Now let's look at this other point. The vector should be the same. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2. Okay, so still this vector is being maintained. What about this one? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the 3 is okay. What about downwards? 1, 2. Okay, that. So now that we have established that it's a translation and the column vector is this one, we're going to say shape P was mapped onto shape Q by a translation with a column vector (3, -2). All right. Part B. In the answer space below is an incomplete flowchart for calculating the volume V of a cone. Given the radius R and height h of the cone, complete the flowchart. Okay, so this is the formula for finding the volume of a cone. This is the formula for finding the volume of a cone. All right. Now, so this is the formula for finding the volume of a cone. All right. Now, this is a computer program here that we are supposed to complete. So what you have to know is that constants are not fed in the computer. Okay? Constants are not fed into the computer. What are going to be fed in the computer are these variables, R and H. So here you are going to say enter R and H, the radius and the height. Okay? Now, the next thing that you are going to write is the formula itself here. Okay? It's a formula itself here. Volume is equal to, so in computer language, you're going to write 1 with slash like this over 3. Then times will be a star. Pi times radius, because it's radius squared, we're going to say radius times radius, then times h. All right, so it means you've completed the flowchart. Okay, so number 18, z varies inversely as the square of x. So z varies inversely. So inversely meaning it's here, down here, the denominator, inversely as the square of x, and directly as y. So meaning y is direct here. So in other words, they are saying z varies directly as y and inversely as x squared, or as the square of x. All right. And z is 6 and x is -3 and y is 27. Find the, so part A, they want you to find the value of k, the constant variation. But when you look at this, you don't have k. So what you do is that you are going to introduce an equal sign here. Once you introduce an equal sign, then there will be k. So we're going to say z is equal to ky over x squared. Okay? Now they have said z is... Now they want you to find the value of k. When z is 6, so where there is z, we're going to put 6 is equal to k. Then where there is y is 27. So we're going to put 27 here over x is negative 3. So negative 3 squared. Okay? So we're going to have 6 is equal to k times 27 is 27k over 3, negative 3 squared is positive 9. Okay? Now when you look at this, you can actually reduce 9 into 27 is 3. 3 times k is 3k. So divide both sides by 3. So you have k is equal to 6 divided by 3 is 2. So this is k. B, they are saying the value of z when y is equal to negative 6 and x is equal to negative 2. Alright, so the equation that you are going to use to solve B, to work out B, is this one. This equation that you make here is very important. So what you are going to say is, so this is B, z is equal to ky over x squared. Okay, so they want you to find z when y is negative 6 and x is negative 2. Okay, so we're going to say k, we found k is 2, so we're going to say 2 times y is negative 6. Okay, negative 6 over x is negative 2. So negative 2 squared. Okay, 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Then negative 2 squared is 4 positive because everything is in brackets. Okay, so negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So this is the value of z. Now let's look at part C, the last one. Values of x when y is equal to 8 and z is equal to 1. So again, this equation, the first equation is very important. So z is equal to ky over x squared. Okay, so they want you to find the value of the values, actually not only one but values of x. So z is 1, so we're going to have 1 is equal to k is 2, we found 2 times y is 8, then divide by x squared. Okay, so we're going to have 1 is equal to 2 times 8 is 16 over x squared. So cross multiply here, you are going to have x squared is equal to 16. So to find the value of x, you take square roots on both sides. Then you are going to have x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 16 is 4. So therefore x is equal to negative 4 or x is equal to positive 4. Alright, this is the answer. Alright, question 19a says, Paul invests 50,000 kwacha in a government bond at 9% simple interest per annum. How much will the bond be worth after 3 years? Alright, so here, first of all, you need to find the interest, and then after finding the interest, you come and add it back to the principal. Okay, so first of all, you find interest. So this is simple interest. So simple interest is given by the formula interest is equal to the principal times the rate times time, PRT divided by 100. Okay, this 100 comes from the rate, because the rate is 9%, so percent out of 100. All right, so the principal is the amount that is being invested. Okay, so we're going to have 50,000 times the rate is 9, so just write 9, because in the formula we already have 100. Okay, times time we've been given 3 years, so times 3, then everything divided by 100. All right, so this 0 and this 0 are cancelling, this 0 and this 0 is also cancelling, so what is remaining now is 500. Okay, these are 2 zeros. Remember, this is paper 1, so you're not allowed to use a calculator, so you need to be smart on how you are dealing with the numbers. Make sure that you don't deal with big numbers. Whenever there is a temptation to do with big numbers, you cancel them like this, you simplify them like this. So here we are remaining with 500 times 9 times 3. Okay, this is becoming easier. All right, so here again you need to be careful, because this is paper 1. You can say 500 times 3. Okay, 500 times 3 is 1,500. So you have 1,500 times 9. Okay, so we did this and that. Okay, we got 1,500, then times 9. Okay, so since you have zeros like this, you can just say, you can multiply it this way, 1,500 times 9 like this. Okay, so 9 times 0 is 0, then 9 times 0 again is 0, 9 times 5 is 45, so you write 5, carry 4, 9 times 1 is 9, 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, so this is the interest. Okay, 13,500 is the interest. That was earned in 3 years. Now for you to find the total bond, okay, so now we're going to say total bond is going to be equal to the principal, which is 50,000, plus interest. Okay, so this is the interest, and the principal is 50,000 kwacha, so 50,000 kwacha plus the interest, which is 13,000 kwacha, 13,500 kwacha, and this gives 63,500 kwacha. So this is the bond in 3 years. Then let's look at B. So question B says, two cylindrical tins are geometrically similar. The radius of the base of the smaller tin is 6 centimeters, and that of the bigger tin is 9 centimeters. So here you can say smaller tin, you have two, remember you have two similar tins, you have smaller tin and you also have a bigger tin. And then the radius of the smaller tin is 6 centimeters, so 6 centimeters, and that of the bigger one is 9 centimeters. Okay, 9 centimeters. So given that the volume of the bigger tin is 108 cubic centimeters, so we've also been given the volume of the bigger one to be 108 cubic centimeters. So they are saying, given that the volume of the bigger tin is 108, which is the one that I've written there, find the volume of the smaller tin. Okay, so first of all, for you to find the volume here, you need to write this radius into a ratio. So you have 6 to 9, okay, 6 to 9. But when you look at these ratios, they can be reduced. You can see that 3 can go into 6 2 times, and 3 can go into 9 3 times. All right, after doing that, because you are looking for the volume, okay, because you are looking for the volume, and remember, you have to remember that volume is measured in cubic units. So because of that reason, you are supposed to cube. You are supposed to raise the ratio, each of the numbers in the ratio to the power 3, okay, because you are dealing with volume. All right, so 2 cubed is same as 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, 2, and then 3 cubed is same as 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. So now this is the ratio that you are going to use to find the volume of the smaller tin. So remember, the volume of the bigger tin, we've been given that is 108. So 108, we are going to write it here under the ratio of the bigger tin, which is 27. You write it under 27. So 108. Okay. Then we don't know the volume for the bigger tin. So now what you are going to do is you are going to cross multiply here. All right. So you're going to say 8x times 27, it will be 27x is equal to, okay, 8 times 108, okay, 8 times 108. So please, when you reach at this stage, no need of multiplying and finding the value here, because this is paper 1 and you are not allowed to use a calculator. If you multiply and find the value here, you are going to have a big number here, which is going to be very difficult for you to work with. So to find the value of x, you are going to divide by 27 both sides of this equation, okay, like this. So this and that cancels. You have x is equal to, at this stage, you can see, you can simplify, okay. 9 can go into 27 3 times. Then 9 can go into 10 1 time. Then remainder 1. Okay, so 9 into 18 is 2. Again, a 3 can go into 12. So 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 12, 4 times. So you are having 8 times 4. Okay, so meaning x is equal to 8 times 4, and therefore x is equal to 8 times 4 is 32 cubic centimeters. Okay, so you conclude and say this is the volume of the smaller tin. All right, number 20A. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle ABC. Triangle ABC. BC is produced to D. So BC is produced to D. Okay. Then AC is equal to 13 centimeters. This. Okay. And cos BAC is equal to 12 over 13. Find the value of tan ACD. Tan ACD. So this is the angle that they want you to find. tan ACD. Right, how are we going to find that? First of all, you need to write SOHCAHTOA, which is going to help you know the sides. Okay, so SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. Okay, now the secret is here. This is the secret, where the secret of everything is, because they are saying cos BAC, cos BAC. So which angle is this BAC? BAC. So they are talking about this angle here. Okay, the cosine of this angle is equal to 12 over 13. Okay, now because they are talking about cosine in our SOHCAHTOA here, so we'll go here where there is car, and the C here is symbolizing cosine. Okay, cosine is equal to adjacent. The A is for adjacent and H is the hypotenuse. So now when you are looking at this angle here, which side is the adjacent? So the adjacent is the side that is attached to this very angle apart from the hypotenuse. So the adjacent is this one here. So this is the adjacent. Okay, and then the hypotenuse is this one, hypotenuse, when you are referring to this angle. Okay, so cosine BAC, cosine BAC, the cosine of this angle is equal to, according to SOHCAHTOA here, is adjacent, this adjacent here, over hypotenuse. Now when you look at the adjacent here, so this means that the value for the adjacent is 12 here. This side is 12. So the value for the adjacent is 12. So here you have 12. All right, it's 12 centimeters. Yeah, so that when you say adjacent over hypotenuse, you go back to 12 over 13. All right, so now the question is saying find the value of tan ACD, tan ACD. So this angle here. Now this angle is an obtuse angle, so you cannot find the tan of this angle without finding the tan of this angle here. Okay, so tan from SOHCAHTOA is equal to opposite over adjacent. So if you are referring to this angle here, then the opposite is this one. This one now becomes the opposite. Then which one becomes the adjacent? The adjacent is the side that is attached to the very angle other than the hypotenuse. So this now becomes the adjacent. All right, so meaning since this is missing here, this side is missing here, for us to find the tan of this angle here, we are supposed to find this side first. So now how are we going to find that side? We'll apply Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem says if you want to find the longest side, this one, the hypotenuse, you are supposed to add the square of this side and the square of this side. Now if you've been given the hypotenuse and one of these sides, it means that you are supposed to subtract the square of this side and then find the square to find this side here. So what we are going to say is, what we are going to do is 13 squared minus this one, the opposite, which is 12 squared. You should get BC squared. Okay, so now 13 squared is 169 minus 12 squared is 144. It should get BC squared. Okay, 169 minus 144 is 25, is equal to BC squared. Now we are looking for BC, not BC squared, so meaning we are going to take square roots on both sides. Okay, so the square root of 25, because this is distance, we are not going to have two roots. We use the positive one. There's no way you can have a negative distance. So this is distance. You're going to pick a positive square root of 25, which is 5 is equal to BC. So BC here is 5. All right. So now we can go ahead and find the tan of this angle. Okay, so that we use this tan, the tan of this angle to find this one that they are looking for. So let's find the tan of this angle. So tan ACB is equal to, what is tan according to Sokatoa here is opposite over adjacent. So if you are referring to this angle, the side that is opposite to this angle is this one, where there is 12. So we're going to have 12 over adjacent. Adjacent is this one here, the side that is attached to this angle other than the longest side, which is the hypotenuse. So here we have 5. Okay, so now that we know what tan ACB is, now for us to find this external angle here, this one here, we'll just include the negative because this is the obtuse angle. Okay, so we're going to say, therefore, tan of ACD, tan ACD, we'll just put the negative, include the negative to this tan here. So it will be negative 12 over 5. Right. Part B, the question says, find the equation of a straight line passing through the points negative 2, 3 and parallel to the straight line whose equation is this. All right. Number one thing that you are supposed to know about parallel lines is that they have the same gradient. Okay, they have the same gradients. All right, so now you've been given this point and an equation. So we want to find the equation of the straight line that is passing through this point and is parallel to the straight line whose equation is that. Okay, so first of all, let's rewrite. So secondly, you need to rewrite this given equation. So we have 2y minus 3x is equal to 5. All right, now after rewriting it, you need to make sure that you write this given equation in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So this equation has to be changed to be in this form so that we find the gradient. So you aim at remaining with y, or making y the subject of the formula. Okay, so how are you going to make y the subject of the formula? We are supposed to take this other term to the other side. In other words, we're going to do that by additive inverse. This is negative 3x. For us to remove it, we are going to add a 3x. So what we've done on the left of this equation, we also do it on the right. Okay, so that the equation remains balanced. So, also, if you say negative 3 plus 3x, this becomes a 0. What is going to remain is that. So you have 2y, this becomes a 0, is equal to, or this is actually 3x, okay, is equal to, now because you want your equation to be in this form, you are going to start writing the 3x first. Okay, 3x, then plus 5. Okay, your aim is to get y by itself like this, so you have to divide by 2 on each terms. Okay, so that cancels, then you have y is equal to 3 over 2 x plus 5/2. All right. Now, here m is the gradient. Okay, so this is the gradient. M is the gradient. So meaning here the coefficient of x is the gradient. Okay, so we're going to call this as m1. All right, this is m1. But remember that when the two lines are parallel to each other, they should have the same gradient. So meaning the gradient 1 should be equal to gradient 2. All right, so with that information, we are going to now use this formula for us now to find the equation of the other line. Okay, so y is equal to m, so we're going to say m2 because here we say this is m1. m2 x plus c. So remember this equation has the point is passing through this point, which is -2, 3. So now where there is y here, you're going to put the y value here, which is 3. And then where there is m2, because the gradient is the same for parallel lines, you're going to put the gradient, which is 3/2. Then where there is x, you're going to put -2. Your aim is to find the intercept where this line is crossing the y-axis. So now let's just do that. So we're going to say where there is y, we're going to put a 3 is equal to the gradient. We found that the gradient is 3/2. So 3/2. Then x is -2. So -2 plus c is the one that we're looking for, which is the y-intercept. So we're going to have 3 is equal to, we can cross cancel here, 2 into 2, 1, 2 into -2, you're going to have -1. So here you're going to have 3 times -1 will be -3 plus c. All right, then you want c to be on its own, so you're going to use additive inverse. You add a 3 so that when you say -3 plus 3 becomes a 0. So what you've done here, you also do it here. Okay, so now you have this becomes a 6 is equal to, this is a 0, c. All right, now you come back to this equation. This time around, you are only replacing the gradient and the value of c. So you have y is equal to m2 x plus c. So y will be equal to, the gradient is this same one here, 3/2 x plus the y-intercept is 6. Okay, so this is the line that is parallel to the line of this equation. Okay, all right, number 21, write 3 inequalities that define the unshaded region R in the diagram below. Okay, so you have this diagram, okay, with these lines. Okay, now they want you to write the 3 inequalities that are defining this region, the unshaded region R. So there are a few things that you're supposed to know when dealing with such questions. Number 1, you need to know the nature of the line. Okay, if it's a solid line like this, it means your inequality is going to have either the greater or equal to symbol or the less or equal to symbol, because it's a solid line. Number 2, you need to know if it's a dotted line. Okay? If it's a dotted line, it's either your inequality is going to have the greater than symbol or the less than symbol. All right. And then number 3, you have to know that in inequalities, you shade the unwanted region. All right, so let's go ahead and write these 3 inequalities that are defining this unshaded region R. All right, so first of all, you need to look at the lines that have the easiest equations. Okay, so the lines with the easiest equations are those lines that cross either the x-axis or the y-axis only, not those that are crossing both the y-axis and the x-axis, for example, this one or that one. So in this case, this line here has the easiest equation. Okay, this line here has the equation y is equal to, it's crossing at 1, so y is equal to 1. All right, now you need to ask yourself a question here. How will be the inequality for this equation? So the inequality for this equation will be determined based on, is number 1, is the line solid or dotted? So when you look at this line, this is a solid line. So meaning your inequality, the inequality for this equation will either have the greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay, now we have established that this equation will have one of these here, one of these symbols here. Okay, now the other question that you're supposed to ask yourself, which one is the unwanted region, or which one is the shaded region? The shaded region is the less part here, is the less part, which is the unwanted region, meaning the greater part here is the wanted region, and we're going to write the inequality based on the wanted region, the greater part. So meaning this equation is going to have the inequality y is greater or equal to 1. All right, hope that's very clear. All right, let's now find the equation of this line. Okay, I'll name this line as A. So let's find the equation of this line so that we use that equation to come up with the inequality. All right, so first of all, for us to come up with the equation of this line, we need to collect the points. So we're going to collect the points here and here, where they are crossing the x and y axis. So here the point is 0, 6. Okay, and then we also have this point where this line is crossing, which is 6, 0. Okay, 6, 0. So now we're going to use these points to come up with a gradient of this line. Okay, so gradient m is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so when you look at these points, we don't have the x1, the x2, the y1, y2. So what you do is you make any of these points to be 0.1. So let's make this first point to be 0.1. So meaning we're going to have x1, and then this is y1. This will be x2, then y2. All right. We can now substitute in this for us to find the gradient. So we're going to have y2 is 0, so we'll have 0 minus y1 is 6, okay, over x2 is 6, okay, so 6 minus, then x1 is 0, okay, so we are going to have 0 minus 6 is negative 6 over 6 minus 0 is 6, and this gives the gradient to be negative 1. Alright, now that we found the gradient to be negative 1, alright, now we have m, which is the gradient, being equal to negative 1. Now you need also to pay attention to the point, this point here, the point at which this graph, this line is crossing the y-axis. So this point here is called C. So we are going to say C, which is the y-intercept, the point at which the graph is crossing, the point at which the line is crossing the y-axis is 6 here. Okay? So now that we know this, you are going to say, we are going to use the formula y is equal to mx plus c. Okay? So the m here is the gradient. The gradient, we found that the gradient is negative 1. So you are going to have negative 1. X, so negative 1 times x will just be negative 1x plus c is 6. Okay, so you have y is equal to 1 times x is negative x plus 6. Alright, so meaning this line here has the equation y is equal to negative x plus 6. Alright, now this is just the equation. Now what will be the inequality for this equation? What is the inequality of this equation? Alright, so you ask yourself, how is the nature of the line? Is it a full line or a dotted line? So when you look at this line, it's a full line. So meaning our inequality will either have this or that. Alright, so the other question you're supposed to ask yourself, which one is the shaded region or the unwanted region? The unwanted region is this one, the greater part. Okay, so since the unwanted region is the greater part, meaning the wanted region, the region at which r is the less part. So meaning we are going to have y is less, because it's a solid line. You are going to have less or equal to negative x plus 6. Alright, so this is the inequality that they required. So using the same method, we are going to find the equation of this line so that we use it to come up with a inequality. So let's call this equation as B. Okay, as usual, the first step is to collect the points, the obvious points that where the points where this line is crossing. So this line is crossing here at 0, 0, so we have 0, 0, and also it's crossing here 2, 4, 2, 4. So the next step is to find the gradient m. So m is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Alright, again, let's make this point to be 0.1. So meaning we have x1, then y1, x2, then y2. So let's substitute in this. So we're going to have y2 is 4. So we have 4 minus y1 is 0, then over x2 is 2 minus x1 is 0. Okay, so we are having 4 over 2 giving 2. So the gradient m is equal to 2. Now what about the y-intercept? What about the point where this graph is crossing the y graph? So you can see that this line is crossing this y graph here on the origin. So which means that c is equal to 0. So again, we're going to use the formula y is equal to mx plus c. All right. So y is equal to m is 2. 2 times x is x. So we have 2x plus 0. C is 0. Then you finally have y is equal to 2x. This 0 is dropped out. Okay, so meaning this line here has the equation y is equal to 2x. Now, what about the inequality? Okay, first of all, ask yourself, is this line a dotted line or a full line? So when you look at this line is the dotted line. So meaning our inequality will have one of these. Okay, what about the greater part? Okay, so let me just show you something. If you have the xy plane like this, x and y, this is 0. The values of x, the values of y increase as you go up. Okay, and the values of x increase as you go to the right. All right, so now okay, so now if you have a line that is moving like this, okay, it means this is the greater part. Okay, this side is the greater part because this line is increasing like this. Okay, is increasing, and if this part is shaded like this, it means this is the greater part. All right, and the down part here is the less part. All right, with this information, let's go ahead and decide the inequality for this. So this is the greater part. Okay, sorry. All right, so this is the less part. Okay, according to the y-axis. The y-axis increases as you go up. So the part that is shaded in terms of the y-axis, this is the greater part. The unwanted region is the greater part, but R is on the less part. So meaning here you are going to have y is less than because this number 1, this is the dotted line, and also R is on the less part. So y is less than 2x. All right, so the inequalities that define the region R are these that we found here. Okay, where's the other one? The other one is here. All right, so remember to write your answers in the space provided here. Okay, so we have y greater or equal to 1, then y less than 2x. Okay, this one here. Then y is less or equal to negative. Y is less or equal to negative x plus 6. All right. All right. Question 22, part A says integrate this function with respect to x. Okay, so one thing that you have to know is that if, for example, they tell you to integrate a function ax to the power n with respect to x, which means dx, this means that you are going to add a 1 to the power, which is n, so you have n plus 1, then divide by the new power, which is n plus 1. So meaning you are going to have a x to the power n plus 1, then over the new power, which is n plus 1. And because this is an indefinite integral, it has no limits, you are going to add a constant c plus c. So integration means you just add a 1 to the power and then divide by the new power. Okay, so we are going to use this principle here when integrating this. Okay, so let's just rewrite this as the integral of 3x squared minus 5x plus 9 over x cubed, then dx, because we are integrating with respect to x. Okay, so now before we apply this, we need to change this fraction here. So this is same as the integral of 3x squared minus 5x, then this one is same as plus 9 times 1 over x cubed. Okay, now by the laws of indices, if you have a number that has been written as 1 over a being the base, this is same as a, which is the base, to the power negative 1. So we are going to write this like this. So in our case here we have 1 over x cubed. So we need to rewrite this in this form. So we're going to have the base x to the power negative 3. Okay, so meaning here we are going to replace x to the power negative 3. All right, so we are going to have the integral of 3x squared minus 5x plus 9 times x to the power negative 3. Oh, here there's dx. Okay, we are integrating with respect to x, so with respect to x, dx like this. All right, so now we can apply this. Okay, so let's apply that. So to every power, we're going to add a 1 and then divide by the new power. So we're going to have 3x squared plus 1 over 2 plus 1, then minus 5x to the power 1 plus 1, because 5x is same, this x is same as is being raised to the power 1. Okay, then over 1 plus 1, then plus this is 9, so we're going 9 times x to the power negative 3 is just 9, x to the power negative 3 plus 1 over negative 3 plus 1, then plus c. All right, hope that's clear. Hope that's clear. Then we just have to simplify this. So we are going to have 3x to the power 2 plus 1 is 3, then over the new power, which is 3, then minus 5, then x to the power 1 plus 1 is x squared, or we have a 2, then over the new power, then plus 9x, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2, okay, over the new power, which is negative 2, then plus c. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to simplify further. This 3 and this 3 will cancel. What we are going to have to remain with is x to the power 3 minus this is going to be 5 x squared over 2. Then here you have a negative number, negative 9x to the power negative 2 divided by a negative number, which is negative 2. So meaning you are going to have a negative here, okay? Then 9x to the power negative 2 over 2 plus c. Alright, so now we need to change this also back to a fraction form by applying this. Okay, let's just change that so that we have the final answer. So we are going to have x to the power 3 minus 5x squared over 2, then minus, so this is same as 1 over x squared. 1 over x squared times 2, so we are going to have 9, okay, 9 over 2x squared plus c. Alright, then this is the answer. Alright, so part B says the diagram shows the graph of the function y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 15. The curve cuts the x-axis at A and B and the y-axis at C. So this curve is cutting the x-axis at A and B and the y-axis at C. Okay? Now the question says find the coordinates of B and C. So they want you to find the coordinates of B and C. Now, how do you find the coordinates of B and C? First of all, let's find the coordinates of B. Now, how do you find the coordinates of B? What you have to know is that along this line, the value of y is equal to 0. Okay? This is what you have to know. So meaning, for us to find the coordinates of B, we are going to use this equation, okay? We're going to use this equation, and where there is y, we're going to put 0, because B is lying along this line where y is equal to 0. So we are going to have y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 15. Then because y here along this line is 0, so we are going to equate this equation to 0. So we are going to have x squared plus 2x minus 15. Where there is y here, we're going to say is equal to 0. Right. So at this stage, there are actually many ways you can use to solve this quadratic equation, but in this video, we'll use the factor method. So the factor method, first of all, you need to find the product, the sum, and the factors, okay? You need to find these. So the product is found by multiplying the coefficient of x squared by the constant. So the coefficient of x squared here is 1 times negative 15. So the answer will be negative 15 for the product. Then the sum you get the coefficient of x here, so which is 2. Factors, you are looking for factors of negative 15, 2 of them, such that when you add them, you get positive 2, and when you multiply them, you get negative 15. And those factors, let's see if we say 3 and 5. Okay, 3 times 5, we are not getting negative 15, but we are getting positive 15. Now, what if we add a negative here? Negative 15, negative 3 times 5 will be negative 15. What if we add negative 3 plus 5? Are we getting a 2? Yes, we are getting a 2. So, these are the factors. So, what we are going to do is we'll have x squared, then minus 3, this one here, then you just add an x here, then plus 5. This 5 is this one, just again add an x minus 15. This 15 here is equal to 0. So now what you are going to do is you are going to factorize the first two terms and the second two terms. So what is common here is x, okay? X squared divided by x is x, then negative 3x divided by x is minus 3. Then plus, what is common between these two terms is a 5, okay? Then 5x divided by 5 is x, then negative 15 divided by 5 is negative 3, then is equal to 0, all right? Now, you can see that what is in the brackets is the same. So since they are the same, you're going to pick one of them, okay? Then you pick these that are outside. X plus 5 then is equal to 0. All right, when you have this is same as x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 5 is equal to 0. All right, to find the value of x, add the 3 here, and what you've done on the left of this equation, you also do it on the right of this equation. So same here, we are going to subtract the 5. We are using additive inverse to eliminate this term. So what you've done on the left, you also do it on the right. Okay, so x, this becomes a 0, then is equal to 0 plus 3 is 3. Or x is equal to, this becomes a 0, then 0 minus 5 is negative 5. All right, so which means that here at A, you can have the coordinates here. Even here, we can have the coordinates. Okay? So, when you look at these answers, the two answers, which one is negative? Of course, A is negative. The x coordinate at A is negative. So, negative 5 is here. Because this is 0, the origin. And then this is the negative part on the left. So remember, along this line, y is 0, so you have 0 here. So now, which means that the positive one is for B. Okay, so 3 here, and then 0. All right. So, but in the question, they haven't asked us to find the coordinates of A. So meaning this is out, okay? Meaning this is out. So we are only interested in this. So B coordinates are 3, 0, okay? All right. What about C coordinates? Here, C coordinates. Again, what you have to know is that along this line, the value of x is 0, okay? So meaning we are going to use this equation, okay? Y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 15 to also find the coordinates of C. But remember, along this line, the value of x is 0. So meaning everywhere where there is x in here, we are going to replace a 0. So we are going to have y is equal to 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 15. Okay, so the whole of this thing here is a 0. 0 minus 15 is minus 15. Okay, so which means that the coordinates here, remember, x is 0, so you have 0, comma, negative 15, negative 15. So these are the coordinates of B and C. The coordinates of B and C. The last part of this question, they want us to find the minimum value of y. Okay? They want us to find the minimum value of y. So the minimum value of y is given by y is equal to 4ac minus b squared over 4a. So please, you need to keep this formula. It's very useful. Okay, so this is the formula for finding the minimum value of y. Okay, and also we need to make use of this equation here. We need to make use of this equation here. So the equation, which is this one here, y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 15. Okay, let's just clean up here so that our work looks neat. Okay, let's just clean up here, clean up like this. All right, so this equation is very useful. Okay, so you can see that we've used this same given equation to find all the values, to answer all the questions that we were asked. So now we need to locate or to identify what A, B, and C are. So A is usually the coefficient of x squared. So in this case here we have an invisible 1. So A is 1. Then B is the coefficient of the x. So in this case we have a 2. Then C is the constant. In this case, negative 15. So all we need to do is just to replace these in here. Okay, so we're going to have 4 times A is 1 times 1 times C is negative 15. Then minus B is what? B is a 2 and it's being squared. Then all over 4 times, then all over 4 times 1. A is 1 here. Okay? So you are going to simplify here. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times negative 15 is negative 60. Then minus 2 squared is 4. Okay? Over 4 times 1 is 4. So negative 60 minus 4 is negative 64 over 4. So negative 64 divided by 4 is negative 16. So this is the minimum value. Okay? So this is the minimum value. All right, number 23. The following diagram is a speed time graph of a car. The car starts from rest and accelerates uniformly at 3 meters per second squared for 4 seconds until it reaches a speed of v meters per second. It then travels at this constant speed for 80 seconds. It finally comes to rest after t seconds. Okay, so they are saying the car started from rest. So here rest means from 0, and accelerated at 3 meters per second squared in 4 seconds. find the value of v. Find the value of v. So we want to find the value of v. So we want to find the value of v, which is the final velocity. Okay, so we can write the data. So data first, which is going to help us. So u, which is the initial velocity, is 0. Then v, which is the final velocity, is the one that we are looking for. Time is actually 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Okay, now at A, they want us to find the value of v. So how are we going to find the value of v? We are going to find the value of v by using the formula for finding acceleration. Okay, we've been given that acceleration in this case is 3 meters per second squared. So 3 meters per second squared is the acceleration. So for us to find the value of v, we are going to use the formula for finding the acceleration, which is acceleration is equal to v, which is the final velocity, minus u, which is the initial velocity, over time taken. Okay, so we have been given acceleration, which is 3 meters per second. So where there's a, we're going to put 3 is equal to the final velocity. V is the one that we are looking for. So we have v minus the initial velocity is 0. So we're going to put 0. Then divided by time. Time is 4 seconds. So we're going to put 4 here. All right. So we're going to have 3 is equal to v minus 0 is just v over 4. Okay, so we can cross multiply here, and then we are going to have 1 times v is equal to 3 times 4 is 12 meters per second. So the value of v is 12 meters per second. So you can even write it down here and say v is equal to 12 meters per second. All right. Part B, they want you to find the average speed for the first 12 seconds. The average speed for the first 12 seconds. So they are talking about you finding the average speed when the car was moving from here to there up to here in 12 seconds here. Okay, so they want you to find the average speed when the car was moving here under this graph, the one that I've highlighted. All right, so since they want us to find the average speed, so speed, remember from physics, speed is given by distance divided by time. Okay, now in our case we've been given time as 12 seconds here in the first 12 seconds. Then do we have distance? We don't know the distance. We don't have the distance d. Okay, now how do you find the distance? How do you find the distance? So distance, first of all, there are actually many ways you can find the distance, the total distance that the car covered in the first 12 seconds. So, but in this case, I'm going to show you one method of just looking at this shape. When you look at this shape, this is a trapezium. So for you to find the distance, you're going to use the formula for finding the area of a trapezium. The area of the trapezium is equal to the distance. Okay, so distance is equal to, the area of a trapezium is half a plus b times the height. Okay, so this is always a. The distance from here up to there is a, then the distance from here up to there is b. Then the height, this is the height. In this case, the height here, we found that v is 12. So the height is 12 here, okay? So what you are going to do now is just to substitute. So you have 1 over 2. Then A is the distance from here up to there. So for you to find this distance here, you're going to say 12 minus 4. 12 minus 4 is 8. Okay, so you have 8 plus B. B is the total distance from here to there. Okay, so in this case we have 12. Okay, the height is 12 also. So 12. Okay, so we are going to have all right, so here you can even cross cancel. 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 12 is 6. All right, so you are going to have 8 plus 12 is 20. Then 20 times 6. Okay, 20 times 6. 20 times 6 giving 120. So you have 120 meters. So the total distance here is 120. Okay, 120 meters. Now we are going to use this distance here to find the speed. So we're going to have distance is 120 meters divided by time. Time is 12 seconds. Okay, so 12 seconds. All right, so 12 into 12, so 12 into 12, 1. 12 into 12, 1. 12 into 0 is just 0. So meaning then you have meters divided by seconds, so which is meters per second. So you have 10 meters per second. So this is the speed at which this car traveled at in the first 12 seconds. So the speed is 10 meters per second. All right, but C says find the value of t. Here, the t is here. Find the value of t if the speed at t is equal to 14 is 4 meters per second. So they want us to find the value of t if the speed at t when the time is 14, so meaning 14 is somewhere here. So 14, when the time is 14, they are saying the speed is the speed here is 4 meters per second. All right, so how do we answer such a question? Okay, so remember here the final velocity here we found that it's 12. Okay, 12 meters per second. All right, so we can see that when the car was moving from 0 to this point, the initial velocity u was 0, and the final velocity we found that v is 12. Okay, so meaning when the car will be going in the other direction, the opposite direction, like this, as the car will be decelerating, this now becomes the initial velocity, 12. This value now becomes the initial velocity. Okay, so for us to find the value of t, first of all we need to find the deceleration. Okay, the deceleration along this line. Okay, so you can see that since the line is like this, straight like this, dropping like this, it means that the deceleration or the acceleration here is constant. So first of all we need to find the acceleration here. Okay, so how are we going to find the acceleration? So we have u here, then we are going to take this as the final velocity. V here will be 4 meters per second. Okay, meters per second. And then yeah, so we're going to say, first of all, let's find the acceleration. So acceleration is given by the final velocity v minus u over time. All right, so we're going to have acceleration is equal to the final velocity. In this case is this one here, the 4 meters per second. So 4 minus the initial velocity is this, the 12 meters. Okay, then over, so we're going to subtract, we're going to find the difference here. We're going to say 14 minus 12 to find the difference in time here, since we are moving from here yeah, up to here. So we're going to find the difference in time. 14 minus 12 is 2. So I'll just write it as 14 minus 12. Okay, so we're going to have 4 minus 12 is negative 8. Then 14 minus 12 is 2, positive 2. Then negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4 meters per second squared. So the acceleration is negative because it's a deceleration. It's a deceleration. Okay, so meaning along this line, this is the acceleration, negative 4 meters per second. All right, so now we are going to take this will remain as u. So we use so we're going to use this point and this point to find the value of t. So you can give this point a name. Let's say this is point A, and then this is point B. Okay, all right, so here u is 12, and then here we have t, the time. So if this is the initial velocity, then when you hit the x-axis here, along the x-axis, the final velocity v is 0. Okay, the final velocity v will be 0, is 0 along this. You can see that this is 0, so along this line the value is 0. Okay, so now for us to find the value of t, we are going to use the formula for finding the acceleration as well. Okay, we're going to use the formula for finding the acceleration and then solve for t. Okay, so we're going to say acceleration is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. Okay, acceleration, because we have already found the acceleration along this line, which is negative 4 meters per second. So we'll write negative 4 is equal to the final velocity is here, which is a 0, minus u, the initial velocity is 12. Okay, divided by time. We don't know the time, it's the one that we are looking for, so we just write it time. Okay, so we cross multiply, then we'll have negative 4 times t, which will be negative 4t, is equal to 1 times negative 12, because 0 minus 12 is negative 12. So 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. So to solve for t, you divide by negative 4 on both sides. Okay, so these negative 4s will cancel, then you have t is equal to negative will cancel, will be positive, then 12 divided by 4 is 3. All right, so here the time is 3. We found that the time is 3. So meaning from the initial time 12 here, for us to reach here, we are going to add 3 seconds. So time, we are going to say, therefore, time t is equal to, this is 12, the initial one is 12, so 12 plus 3, which is equal to 15 seconds. Meaning here at t, you have 15 seconds. Okay? Alright. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, hit the like button and share.